Hey guys, looking for new horror games to play in 2025? Then you've come to the right place. We've started the list with The Midnight Walk, an adventure, fantasy, and horror game being developed by the creative minds behind Lost in Random. The game features a dark and magical journey where the player will be accompanied by a lost lantern-shaped creature. This creature will help illuminate the path in a world full of wonders and terrors. The goal will be to overcome monsters and explore an incredibly detailed setting, handcrafted with clay and animated in a stop-motion style. What really sets The Midnight Walk apart is its visual style. The game world has been meticulously sculpted in clay, creating a unique and disturbing look. Following the list, we have Deadly Quiet, an asymmetrical cooperative horror game that was recently announced. The game puts players in the role of a group of friends who, after a car accident on an unstable bridge, are trapped in the Hoia Baciu forest in Transylvania. The story of Deadly Quiet focuses on the friends' journey of survival as they need to cross the cursed forest and reach the nearest village, Cluj. The Hoia Baciu forest is known for its supernatural phenomena and secrets, creating an atmosphere of mystery and suspense. The game is an asymmetrical horror, which means that players take on distinct roles. Some are the survivors, while others control the creatures that pursue them. Survivors must work together to cross the forest, avoiding the creatures and using silence as their main weapon. Directive 8-20 is the fifth title in the Dark Pictures anthology series, and the first of the franchise's second season. Developed by Supermassive Games, the game promises a space horror experience with science fiction elements and a multilinear narrative. The game puts the player in control of 5 playable characters, each with their own story and motivations. The decisions made during the game influence the fate of the characters and the story as a whole, creating multiple possible endings. Directive 8020 promises to be an interesting space horror experience, with a multilinear narrative, complex characters, and innovative gameplay mechanics. The game stands out for its atmosphere of suspense and paranoia, inspired by classics of the genre.
You can't take any chances with him. It can manipulate its physical appearance. It's changing its cellular structure. It's replicating the human form. It's replacing us. I know this will be difficult to hear, but if you're still out there, you deserve the truth.
Ill is a first-person survival horror game being developed by Team Clout, using Unreal Engine 5. The game promises high-quality graphics, realistic physics, and a disturbing story that immerses players in a world of madness and horror. Ill places players in a small town plagued by a sinister and mysterious force. The goal is to unravel the truth behind the bloody madness that has befallen the town. The game features an intense combat system, with a variety of weapons and ammunition that require strategic decisions for survival. Players need to carefully manage their inventory, balancing weapons, ammunition, and vital resources. The game's physics are advanced, with interactive environments, ragdoll effects, dismemberment, and real-time body transformations. Reanimal is a cooperative horror and adventure game in development by Tarsier Studios, the creators of the Little Nightmares series, and published by THQ Nordic. In Reanimal, you take on the role of a brother and sister who embark on a terrifying journey to rescue their missing friends and escape a hellish island. The story takes place in a dark and distorted world where players must use their wits to survive, work together, and unravel the dark secrets that haunt the island. The game is described as an atmospheric horror experience with a focus on tension and dense atmosphere. Players will face a variety of twisted monsters and broken but resilient child characters inspired by fragments of a troubled past.
I thought you were dead.
They're coming.
Asylum is a psychological horror and adventure game that promises a chilling and immersive experience. The game is developed by Senscape, the same team behind the acclaimed Scratches, and is scheduled to be released on March 6, 2025. Asylum takes players to the Hanwell Mental Institute, a dilapidated and mystery-filled mental asylum. The game is presented in first person, allowing players to explore the dark and frightening corridors of the asylum, unraveling its dark secrets. Asylum is a point-and-click, with a focus on exploration and puzzle solving. Players will need to use their senses and intelligence to unravel the mysteries of the asylum and survive the horrors that haunt it.
To break free from the presence that haunts my past. Why are you doing this?
Decadent is an FPS that promises an immersive and terrifying experience, combining atmospheric exploration, Lovecraftian horror, and advanced gameplay mechanics. In Decadent, you take on the role of John Lorne, a real explorer and veteran of the Great War who became a decadent occultist after a traumatic experience. During one of his occult experiments, John becomes host to a mysterious parasite. In search of his lost son, he travels to the Arctic, following the trail of a lost expedition from Miskatonic University. You will face horrible creatures, including depraved tribes, hybrid aquatic creatures, ancient entities, and ever-mutating horrors. To combat them, you will have access to a variety of weapons, from conventional firearms of the 1920s to cursed pistols with occult properties, strange artifacts, and even alien biological weapons.
Tenebris, Maledictum, Aeternum, Mortis, Hungry!
BrokenLore Low is a first-person horror game that serves as a prelude to the story of BrokenLore, a series of games that explores themes of mental health, obsession, and the dark side of the internet. The game takes place in Kirisamemura, a Japanese village shrouded in fog, where players uncover ancient secrets and deeply rooted hatred. The story revolves around Naomi Montgomery, a young woman who arrives in the village seeking a professional opportunity that promises to boost her musical career. However, she encounters sinister presences and the cursed secrets of the village. Players must explore the winding paths of the village, unraveling lost stories and discovering the truth behind the events that haunt Kirisamemura. Negative Atmosphere is a third-person survival horror game being developed by Sunscorched Studios. The game takes place on a monster-infested spaceship, where the player takes on the role of Samuel Edwards, a medical officer who must fight his former crewmates who have transformed into horrific creatures. Negative Atmosphere attempts to be a spiritual successor to Dead Space, a popular space horror game that recently received a remake. Negative Atmosphere shares similar elements with Dead Space, such as the over-the-shoulder camera perspective, brutal combat, and tense atmosphere. The game offers an interesting experience with a good storyline, brutal combat, frightening environments, and a tense atmosphere. If you enjoyed the Callisto Protocol, you might want to check out this game.
Oh, shit.
Finally, we have Post-Trauma, a modern horror and survival game inspired by the classics of the genre. The title is a tribute to horror classics like Silent Hill and Resident Evil, bringing a disturbing atmosphere and mechanics that hark back to the horror games of the past. Post-Trauma combines fixed camera angles with modern visuals and soul-chilling soundscapes. The game uses Unreal Engine 5 to create a frightening and familiar horror experience. The story revolves around Roman, a tormented train engineer who wakes up in a surreal dimension after a panic attack. The player will have to face disturbing creatures and solve challenging puzzles to escape this hostile environment. Well, that was the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and see you next time.
Trust me.
You think you can escape what you've done?
I think I can try.
It's time.